Welcome to my channel Limelight Leaks. Please share and subscribe and hit the bell icon for new updates. The dialer experiment is formally underway as of May 2025. However, the idea that MichaelBJordan would become a target was completely unexpected. Michael unleashed a wild bomb that jolted the entire internet out of nowhere. He asserts that Diddy supposedly attempted to confront him about Cassie. Yep. Michael claims that he and Cassie once had a covert relationship. It is said that Diddy lost it as soon as he learned about it. However, we must not act as though this is a unique episode, as rumors involving Diddy have circulated for quite some time. An alarming and difficult-to-ignore pattern is circulating among the public. Those days of Kid Ku's automobile going boom are long gone. People reported he was getting too close to Cassie, and then his vehicle crashed. Shakir Stewart, though, apparently had serious issues with Diddy before his tragic death. He was Kim Porter's boyfriend at the time. I am not optimistic about this. This is all too familiar. The name MichaelBJordan has now been included in the official court records. This Hollywood love triangle might be the most hazardous and outlandish one ever revealed, if even half of the claims are true. Is this the last straw that breaks the bad boy curse? Does Diddy now have karma on his side? Today, a federal courthouse in New York is being watched by the streets. The judge was informed by Sean Diddy Combs that he was rather anxious. This morning, the criminal trial of the real estate billionaire commenced. His crimes include racketeering, sex trafficking, and more. This is the starting point then. Juror selection began just as the trial entered its first phase, and chaos ensued almost immediately. As tensions rise in the courtrooms, secrets begin to emerge. New court records indicate that prospective jurors were asked to identify a list of prominent figures whose names may surface in the case. And these aren't kiddie names either. Among those mentioned are MichaelBJordan, Mike Myers, Young Miami, Kid Coy, and Kanye West. This isn't your average trial in Hollywood. A veritable who's who of the business world is emerging. This is where things start to heat up. MichaelBJordan and Cassie briefly dated in 2015, during Cassie and Diddy's purported separation, although other people either didn't remember or didn't know about it. Here she was, swaying to the beat of MBJ, a budding star. It's energizing, Rachel, and serious, but it's a real pain to clean up. Cassie didn't mention him at first, but she did hint to a flirtatious relationship with an actor in her complaint from 2023. People on social media were making assumptions, but new court documents have proven their suspicions correct. Our man MichaelBJordan was it. The documents also indicate that Diddy went completely insane after learning the news. Reportedly, he didn't merely lose his temper. Taking up the phone, he dialed Michael's number and threatened him severely. Threats, indeed. A communication like that coming from someone like Diddy is never welcome. So Michael allegedly told Cassie to contact Mr. Combs after he was so startled. MichaelBJordan, who was recently in a relationship with Lori Harvey, is now involved in something much darker. Then, suddenly, Michael and Lori break up, and everyone moved on until Diddy showed up in Italy on vacation with Lori Harvey. Remember that whole red carpet power couple era? Clean image, public smiles, fan favorite vibes. The world is turning in its head, wondering what Diddy was up to with her. Was he trying to show off to Michael Marcus turf? Or was this just the latest psychological chess move? When you take a step back and examine the pattern closely, you'll notice something offbeat happens whenever one of Diddy's exes or lover moves on. Diddy and Lori Harvey are getting cozy in Italy. Lori's arm is on the back of Diddy's chair, which is shocking for some reason. Diddy is now getting very close to Steve Harvey's daughter, who is Justin Combs' ex-girlfriend. There will always be drama, fallout, and smoke. This whole timeline starts to feel strategic and messy. Now here's the real plot twist. MichaelBJordan is officially named in court filings. He hasn't been called to the stand yet, but the fact that his name is listed means the court believes he's tied to this chaos somehow. At first people thought it was a PR stunt, but now it's really giving something much more twisted. And that's a big deal. It could mean that Michael is now compelled to speak, either publicly in front of a jury or privately behind closed doors. MBJ has remained silent for years, never once letting out what happened with Cassie. However, with Diddy now facing serious federal charges and the spotlight being hotter than ever, his silence might finally break. If Michael were to come clean, we could finally get a glimpse of the extent to which Diddy's purported control extends. Michael's story paints a disturbing picture of what happens to Diddy when he feels someone is stepping on his pride. Even when they weren't officially together, Diddy couldn't bear the idea of someone else being close to Cassie. It's giving off some very unsettling vibes like, if I can't have you, nobody will. But now let's talk about Cassie Ventura, who is at the center of this storm. She's not a minor character caught in the middle of everything. She's the one exposing it all. She's the star witness to what could be Diddy's final collapse. The case was blown wide open by her 2023 lawsuit, which sent shockwaves through the industry. Diddy initially denied everything, but that all changed when the security footage from the hotel surfaced, showing him physically attacking her in the hallway. Once that clip went viral, the case was over. Just as Ms. Ventura is making her way through a hotel corridor with her bags in tow, Sean Combs dashes up behind her, snatches her, and flings her to the floor in a violent heap. What happens next is too graphic to show, but he kicks her twice before grabbing her again and dragging her along the floor as the entire world went dark. With the footage, what were once whispers became headlines. Without it, Diddy might have continued to skirt the issue, using tactics like denials, payoffs, and NDA silence. You know how these famous people manipulate the system. But now, the receipts are coming out, and the silence is breaking. And guess who else has been further implicated? He is officially named as a person of interest in court documents. Those of you who have been following the story will recall that Cassie had a brief romance with Kid 2 in 2011. And guess what? Just like before her relationship with Diddy was on a break, he allegedly lost control when he found out she was seeing Kid. The lawsuit filed in November 2023 states that Diddy did more than just make threats. He allegedly carried them out. Cassie asserts that Diddy threatened to destroy Kid's car, and then without warning it happened. Prosecutors now claim that between December 2011 and January 2012, Diddy's crew allegedly wrecked a car belonging to an unidentified individual. And that wasn't all. They went all action movie on it, allegedly slicing open the convertible roof, throwing in a Molotov cocktail, and the whole thing went up in smoke. The most outrageous part, though, is that witnesses told investigators that Diddy boasted about it after it went down. What kind of twisted flex is that? It's giving full villain energy, one witness said. Unfiltered and without remorse, the situation becomes even more troubling. According to Cassie's lawsuit, Diddy made an explicit threat in February 2012, immediately following the car explosion. This timeline is too perfect to be ignored. What's more, Cassie asserted that Diddy became so enraged upon discovering her relationship with Kid that he swung a corkscrew at her. That's not just jealousy, that's explosive rage. People, they're not ducking the accusations. You know, you mentioned it earlier, Kid Kai getting his car blown up. I think that they had that in 2012. And Kid Cudi's representation was like, this did happen. It's like they did say this is true, and I saw someone post about how the album following that Indicata in November 2023, they confirmed to the New York Times without sugarcoating or avoiding the issue, shaking the entire industry. Now, with Kid Koi's name appearing again in the new filings, it's reviving the same whispered discussion that has been going on for years. Could this be part of a disturbing pattern? Whenever Cassie attempts to move on, particularly during those so-called breaks, a tidal wave of threats, mayhem, and revenge always follows suit. And let's be honest, we're not the only ones looking the other way. People on the internet are drawing connections. One comment that has been circulating read, "At this point, is this even a question?" Both camps have been vocalizing their opinions, and the energy is palpable. Someone went so far as to claim that Diddy, who goes by the online moniker Powerpuff Prisoner, was flaunting the whole ordeal in front of others. That was particularly devastating, because it is an exact match for the content of those court documents. The fact that Diddy supposedly did not try to cover up his actions. And if you delve further, you'll see that fearless vitality wasn't an accident. This is how he has been moving for a long time. Turn the clock back a little. Cassie was in an entirely different place before she became known as Diddy's girl. Truly, she was in the company of Ryan Leslie. For those familiar with R&B's past, Ryan's scorching singles Diamond Girl and How It Was Supposed to Be are obvious. It wasn't a casual hookup, though. Ryan found Cassie and gave her a leg up when she wanted to get into the game. Cassie remarked to herself at one point how effortless it seemed. According to what she stated, she met Ryan and the two of them recorded 5 songs for fun. From there, it evolved into, let's record some demos, release some music, and share it on MySpace. By keeping true to themselves, making music, and capturing emotions, they were constructing something genuine. Just 2 artists having fun and making plans for the future. No drama, no limelight. Keeping in mind what the hard facts are is essential. This wasn't the kind of person I went on vacation with and had a special bond with as a brother. My life was utterly upended by this individual. Everything changed, though, when Diddy entered the scene. When you arrange all these moments in a specific order, the pattern becomes apparent. And if Puff was aware, That would explain why we were outside Trump Plaza. He mentioned, "I hate this, mother." That's kind of the point. There may have been further factors, as Gene and others have pointed out. The rumors also suggest that Shine and Kim Porter may have been involved. Up next, the unexpected turn. Diddy enters the scene. Guessy. What? Ryan Leslie was the one who put Cassie in touch with him. Reports now indicate something far darker, despite the fact that the entire setup was meant to be about mentorship, music, and business connections. Diddy allegedly wanted Cassie for himself and pushed Ryan to distance himself from her, not because of her job or any label opportunities. End of story. We weren't doing business. It hit close to home. And the whole mentorship to ownership vibe is unsettling when you examine the timing. Optimal orientation. That would have been Kim if he had said he was seeing his main gal, dude. Additionally, they concealed that. Totally insane. Serious manipulation is being fueled by that kind of power play. There is some logic to this. There is a recurrent pattern. It's starting to look like Diddy was up to more than simply dominating with Cassie. Apparently, he did that with every woman he ever dated, and it never seemed good for him. The truth is that there may be a lot more folks that fell into Diddy's shadow than just MichaelBJordan and Kid Coy. Supposedly, he was your security guard in the past and claimed that while you were seeing J-Lo, Jada, Will Smith, and you were planning to physically assault Will Smith because he tried to pick her up on a threesome. Is it accurate? Because this very same vibe was there when Kim Porter's ex-boyfriend Shakir Stewart was performing before she passed away. The scandal reportedly broke in 2000 during an Italian celebrity wedding, according to Rolling Stone. Well, since my last visit to LA, the Reed ceremony was the scene, and this show has only gotten crazier since then. What really went down when Diddy, Kim, and Shakir weren't looking? Anarchy personified. After the ceremony, Diddy allegedly lost it and barged into Shakir's hotel room. He started yelling and then stormed off. An article claims he violently slammed a chair on Shakir's head. That's absolutely violent. It goes beyond mere anger. It was more than just hearsay. Portia Stewart, Shakir's mother, claimed Rolling Stone that Diddy abandoned her son, who was bleeding on the hotel floor. He had to have sutures. You ought to give that some thought. This is no longer merely a drama. A pattern of dominance, fixation, and unbridled authority appears to be taking shape. As time goes on, though, the light fades. Reportedly, Diddy informed Shakir, "I'm going to end you." That was definitely not your average dispute. That is extremely risky language. I can see why Shakir's mom wanted him to get out of show business. This man is not right. She warned others about him directly, and now that everything is coming to light, her warning was completely justified. The enmity and dominance take a dark turn at this point. Some think that same mentality is what caused Shine to be blamed for Diddy's role in the notorious 1999 Club New York shooting. We can simplify it. According to Gene Deal, who was once Diddy's bodyguard, the singer admitted that he couldn't tolerate Shine. His accusers say those were his precise remarks. "Shine truly irritated me." Even while Diddy's typical reaction to someone getting too near or threatening his spotlight is well known, this feud may have deeper roots than just business. Shine allegedly got too near to Kim Porter, according to rumors on the street. There were whispers that they might be romantically involved, you know. Even if he didn't vanish like others said to have, he still had to pay a hefty price. Shine was incarcerated. At the same time, Diddy maintained momentum. Just a coincidence? Or is this just another instance of the same destructive pattern? Jennifer Lopez is another example of someone whose envy has gotten out of hand. Every aspect of that relationship was a potential storm cloud. Combs was presented with an opportunity to plead guilty in exchange for a reduced sentence by federal prosecutors last week. That offer was declined by him. For a long time, rumors have circulated that Diddy's purported discovery that Will Smith and Jada had shown interest in Jennifer Lopez for an undisclosed reason caused tension in their relationship. This tale has been around for quite some time, and it does sound like some Hollywood fan fiction. In interviews, if the topic is brought up, Diddy quickly changes the subject, or shuts down, as if he has something to conceal. "Please, sir, explain. Why you stutter so much? Just pound your chest if it never happened." But no, Diddy never fails to impress with his offbeat humor and sneaky responses, as if he were laughing at an inner joke that nobody else knew about. And here you thought the story was coming to a close. We're only entering the eye of the storm, now. Reportedly, Diddy was offered a plea deal as recently as last week, all wrapped up in a really legal package, a real gentle landing, reduced charges, and reduced time. But you know what? It was declined by him. That fact alone should have warned you that the outcome in court will not be pleasant. We are now in the midst of jury selection, which is likely to continue until May 7th. Then it's time to play. The world will be monitoring every move when the trial formally begins. It makes no difference that it will not be streamed live because it is a federal case. A deluge of receipts, leaks, and updates will hit social media. Also, 3 important individuals are the center of attention at the moment. Trio of MichaelBJordan, Cassie, and Kid Coy. Just one of them making that stand may be a major turning point for Diddy. The scary part, though, is right here. Will Michael even make it to testify? Rumors have begun circulating, and some have even speculated that his life may be in danger if the speculations are true. Even though no one is stating it directly, the atmosphere is tense, thick as rocks. A fresh chapter is being written by Cassie. With the impending arrival of her first child, she has begun anew. People are starting to question if she will even testify given her current circumstances. She may want to avoid the limelight entirely, according to others. However, the entire empire could crumble if even a single one of them talks. And Diddy was completely mistaken if he believed the tempest would subside before the trial even begins. Because new security footage from one of his former Miami Penn residences surfaced just days ago, many assume the woman in the leaked video is Cassie. However, it depicts what seems to be a violent confrontation between Diddy and another woman. While the video may not capture every detail, it does reveal a high level of tension, hostile body, language, and immediate reaction on social media. And now for the exciting part. Due to the manner in which it was released, legal experts are stating that this tape may not even be admissible in court. However, the internet is still going to analyze each frame. The more important point is that the judge's ruling will be moot if similar videos begin to surface. The public's perspective is already strongly swaying. At the same time, rumors regarding the possible subpoena of former Bad Boy performers are circulating. A number of names have been proposed, including Total 112 and Maze. Rumor has it that a few of them had brave but unspoken histories of their own. However, they may feel comfortable enough to speak now that they are finally facing the heat. The events surrounding Cassie are only a small part of this case. It's revealing an entire history. One that is riddled with performers who mysteriously disappeared from the limelight, unsolved problems, and unidentified breaks. Kim Porter is the true unpredictable factor here. People still think her 2018 death was too discreet, too abrupt, too convenient, and her association with Diddy isn't the only reason her name continues popping up. If the trial's doors open, it will involve more than just Kid Coy, Cassie, and MBJ. Glitz, glory, and terror may all come crashing down if this age is exposed. Word on the street is that Diddy's inner circle is beginning to crumble under the mounting pressure. Those who used to be his loyalists are now avoiding him. Some long-term employees, assistants, security guards, and even home servants reportedly, quietly left. The worst part is that federal agents apparently received a burner phone from one former employee. Identify it. The timing seems oddly ideal, but no one knows just yet. A second wave of civil cases is reportedly underway, according to attorneys involved with the case. There have been rumors that several formerly silent women are now involved with prominent legal teams. Some of these women allegedly had connections to private parties and events that Diddy hosted in the past. It has the potential to become one of the most massive celebrity legal takedowns in history, if even half of it is accurate. Even though Diddy's camp is attempting to play down the fire, fans aren't buying it. His legal team insists on stating that he is being singled out. However, let's face it, these accusations cover decades, multiple states, and include complete strangers. There's a reason for that. There's a trend there. Ever since his name appeared on the paperwork, MichaelBJordan has kept quiet. His close associates, however, claim that he has been keeping meetings under wraps and security tight. Not even interviews or red carpets. It's understandable that he's staying low profile. Conversely, since the last court filing, Cassie has been completely silent. Nothing more than silence. No words. No show. That relative quiet says a lot for someone who was previously constantly the center of attention. This is much more than just seeing a famous person's innocence crumble if the trial follows the script. The unraveling of decades of fear, power, and quiet is happening right before our eyes. Every day, more and more names are being added to the list of potential entanglements. However, I must now await your response. So, what are your thoughts on the matter? Regarding MichaelBJordan, did he truly go to such lengths? For what reasons? Entering that courtroom or staying out to protect her family and tranquility? Cassie must decide. How about Kid Coy, though? Is he going to speak up about what happened now? Feel free to share your theories below. Every single one is being watched by me. Also, if you're completely engrossed, feel free to hit that like button. Make sure you don't miss a single twist in this wild, never-ending drama by hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. Because believe me when I say this ride is just gonna get messier from here on out.